just can I have a couple of just a minute time about yourself so that based on that we can start our it will give a right direction for us to talk, because rather than talking in a different domain, so it's better to have one. Because I am Sridhar, I am having 15 years of experience in SAP exclusively. From I started my career from the idocs in 2009, 2010. Later part, I got a chance to work on-job training. I got all these SAP MM and CRM, all these and on-job training. Last 5 years, I have been working on CRM as well as SD projects also. There are two projects I am handling at this point of time. So this is in brief about myself. So SAP SD as well as last 5 years working on the CRM, the latest versions. So in our training, I'm going to give the handshake to CRM also. So that is what I observed last 5 years. Once you have this SD or with as MM with the EWM, how you are going to get a boosting, right? So just our SD is also, once if you have handshake with any other module, then only you will be get recognized out of those 1,000 consultants. So I know it is talking in this way, but still this is the bitter fact there, because it's been years, already no more than 20-30 years in the industry, right? So SD, even if you move to the S4 HANA also, but you should be having some additional module, at least the conceptual knowledge. So that is where you are going to lay down the path to get into the future comprehensive path. Otherwise, then you will be into the same narrow path, because it's been already in years. There are a couple of young modules are there just which has been distributed, divided, lifted and shifted from MM and SD and FICO. There are a few modules they got lifted and shifted now. So they themselves are declared as a separate modules by SAP itself. Though I know it's a business strategy for them, but still, as a consultant, as a person, we want to survive in the industry for the next decade, a minimum I'm talking about. So we should have multi cross functional. I can say that it's a general implementation word as actually cross functional and cross module experience. But at a time, you will not be getting that experience, right? So along with one module, don't leave this module which is in teaser. That's what I call it as a legacy one. Don't come out of your legacy, but don't put a full stop to your module, whatever you are the area which you are into. But I want you to get handshake to the other modules there. So that's where I was into the me and my other couple of colleagues, actually we got into God's grace, we got into that one, and we have been successfully working on the other very niche modules CRM related. So I could see that actually there are a lot more improvement, and when you say into the market SD with so and so, there are very few consultants in the thousands. When it is there, you will be in a crowd, large crowd. Only if you are in SD, you will be in a large crowd. You should tell why should you be picked up out of those crowd. So that will be very tough. I'm not saying it is impossible, but tough. Okay, this is what brief about it, and this is what my I don't want to give you 1 hour lecture about what I am going to talk, because only SD we are going to talk, as well as this CRM flavor also you can expect from me, because I cannot resist myself, because last 5 years I am into that. So that SD and CRM, how it's been evolved and emerged, and how they implemented instead of SDs. There are few projects which we implemented along with the CRM, along with SD, CRM also be implemented. So those, as and when required, we are going to discuss about that. Other than that, I am not going to teach you unique subject in SD, whatever is there, general SD concepts, but basics. After attending this basics, I can give you that confidence to you that okay, basics should be wrong, very strong. So that part I am always focusing. Not about that creating a sales order, inquiry, quotation, all these. It's not the SD. That's a end user job there. But in a SD sales order, what are all the fields and what it is meant for, you should be able to tell at any point of time if somebody knocks you there. So that's how my training is going to be. Don't expect the commercial kind of training, because I have been trained on the on job. At the same time, on job core users and some of the end users also, even I trained there. So that's how my training is going to be. Rather than training, our discussion is going to be. Yeah, can you please at least 1 minute? And I'm not talking because just from which background you are in, so that based on that we can modify and our path there. So how we can run. Yeah, anybody just can just start. Just 1 minute, not more than that.
Hi, good evening, sir. This is Suresh.
Yeah, Suresh. Yeah, good evening.
My name is Suresh. I have 6 years of experience in IT. I'm presently working in testing domain, manual testing and app testing. I'm working in SCL.
Yeah, yeah. Don't tell the company's name anytime. Okay,
Okay,
please. Yeah.
so I need to um, switch on my present testing experience to SD. I need to move to the SD. Sir, it is okay.
Or if you don't mind, because I just very little rapport with we have now. Do
Okay.
you want to continue the testing career as a SAP
No,
tester or SAP functional consultant? You want to become, or a technical consultant? Which one you want to become there?
functional, functional consultant.
Yeah, yeah, that's what.
Technical
Yeah.
means you have coding, right?
No, 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 because you might be from engineering, so that's why you landed on testing technical, right? So this way, I just want to know. There's somebody they want to get into it. They might expect the same kind of testing somebody might have suggested. So they might expect the same. SAP tester is also there, but nowadays we ourselves are doing, actually, as a functional consultant, they themselves are doing the testing, unit testing, everything they are doing. But there are few companies, based on the client and the company implementation partner, there are few positions available. Exclusively testing team is there. So there,
Okay,
this there are based out of the tools are there actually for SAP testing. So they themselves are take care. But in one of our projects, actually, there is a dedicated testing team is there. So whenever they get that any error, they come to us. They come to us
okay,
as from the IT to connect the IT team. Functional consultants will help them. So just they cannot get into the system. They can, what I told you that, right? So just creating order, all these, they do that. If any error, then they just reach out to us. So that's what
okay,
I
okay.
you want to become, just on the testing side.
No, sir. I
Yeah,
decided to functional area.
yeah, yeah, because
Functional.
think twice, because that flavor will always give you an advantage. But whether some in the mid of the journey, if you want to become a technical, then even though that is not going to be learning never goes waste, because even if you become a if you want to become a technical consultant at later point of time, you should have some knowledge on the base of the functional knowledge, so that is going to be helpful for you, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's a sound a good decision there. Okay.
Mm. Nowadays, testing is not good in market. That's why I search which tool is best. I don't want to interest in coding side, sir. That's why I decided to this one. Is it
Oscar,
okay?
there are, yeah, I don't know, yeah, it's absolutely good. So I don't know why, what reason for you selected SD or another. That is different. That is up to you. But any
SD,
functional module.
why I selected, I chosen two modules, sir, SD and GRC security.
Mhm.
So most of the people suggested me SD is the best.
Yeah, whatever they told, actually it's right. But I'm not saying it's GRC security is not a good option, but SD is not a bad option there.
Okay.
Yeah, you will be, because this is an ocean kind of. That's what I'm telling you, right? So yeah, as you are at this stage, don't rely only on SD,
Okay.
because don't ever think that okay, why this trainer is talking negative. No, I'm talking about the facts only. Whether how many people join or not, that is the next one. But
Okay.
in your top of subconscious mind also, just store my this statement that only surviving in this competitive world with one module, it's not going to be possible for a long time career.
Okay.
That is
So I have
100% sure.
okay. So I have one question, sir.
Yeah, please.
I searched the Google and asked some people. They one of two members asked to me in SD part we have technical and functional. What is the difference between technical and functional?
Technical, it is going to be ABAP year role.
Okay.
So in SD itself is a functional module. Technical itself
Okay.
is a BIBW, and next one, this one, ABAP. So
Okay.
until otherwise, somebody from the ABAP background and they want to land into they vexed with the coding part, just like you, but in another different domain. They will become they from the ABAP. If they landed into the SAP SD exclusively, then they will
Okay.
become a techno-functional consultants.
Okay.
Techno-functional
Okay.
means you have to work on all together there. So you have to be responsible from the back end coding as well as to the configuration. You will be having complete cycle with you there, because generally people after working a certain point of time in ABAP, I know couple of friends, because there are various reasons we can talk it offline, because they want to come
Okay.
back to this functional there, want to settle down here. So that flavor they cannot come back from that flavor mind. So that's why they
Okay.
become a techno functional consultants. Some people, they are very choosy, then they want to become a functional means functional. If any technical issue comes, they just go to the ABAP, as they don't know, as they did not work as an ABAP earlier. So they don't want to they don't want to put the extra on their plate.
Okay.
So these are
Okay,
the
sir.
real time. Generally, it happens in the organizations there.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Got it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Then other one. Yeah. If it, the reason why I just want to know, because just to know that only couple of seconds is also okay for me.
Yeah, hi Sridhar. My name is Momin, and I have a total of 7 years of experience with 2.5 years in SAP, APO, and ECC. We are working as a service, and I wanted to know more about SD so that I can become a functional consultant. Yeah.
Yeah. APO is a very good model of advanced planning optimization. Yeah.
Yeah.
GATP, ATP. I think you must have been very thorough on
Uh,
that.
we are actually not functional consultants. We just work for service. So if there are any issues in it, with the planning, collaboration, and everything, that's where we work. We do not work on the technical or the master data. We just assist the users. So I just wanted to have more information on SD so that I can go into the technical part as a functional consultant.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Sridhar. So this is Siddhartha. So yeah, so I have total of 6 years experience with 2 years experience in APO and DCC. Yeah. So I want to know about SAP SD to get some cross-functional knowledge and for better opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good, Momin and Siddhartha.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling. I think you people correlated what where I am coming from, right?
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
knowing
Yes.
one module, actually, it's not going, because people might think that okay, on the first day itself, why this guy just is telling something, but this is the fact. Actually, I cannot change or you cannot change that part,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
This is not a just very new module in the market. Nobody knows. Then with one module you can survive. You can push your life for the next 15 to 20 years. It's not. No. SAP SD from the 80s we have been right. So just because I myself have been noticing so many changes and so many challenges as you are becoming an experienced person, salaries wise, or just there are so many factors, or the backside factor, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Bharat is there. Okay, then here let me share the content actually here. We have prepared the content in a very simpler and very sleeker way. So, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, Sridhar, yeah.
One second. Let me. So this one generally enterprise structure. However, we have to discuss on that part and the business processes. So here, what we are going to talk, we are going to talk each and every field which is required for us from the SD perspective, as well as for the interview perspective, as well as to claim yourself as a strong in the basics. That's what my intention of this course, because whatever we are going to discuss the scenarios, I don't promise you that you are going to get the same in the interview or in the real time also, because no real time scenario, because there are thousands of real time scenarios which it is a task there. If I tell you something the same you you should experience in the real time, it is next to the impossible, because some coincidence if you get, then that's okay. But if you, as long as you are strong at the basics, why this field we are putting, and where these fields are value is going to be sitting into that which table. So you don't need to get into that Agbapier or knowledge or those. Just if you have a conceptual knowledge about it, even though slash h related information, you don't need to get into that, because if you give a path there, that if you have some debugging knowledge or debugging experience, then if the other person is very good at that part, if there are a couple of people will be sitting in the interview, I have seen the people, if if somebody, the whoever attends the interview, if they say that okay, they know something about one skill, if that skill, if they are the expert, then you can expect the interview, right? It's a human, they cannot resist themselves, they ask in deep, and the exact job description they will put it aside, and the discussion will go on in that way. So it's always be in your conservative there. I'm not saying that don't learn anything, but my uh, I always believe in that knowing or learning the subject is important, but at the same time much more important is knowing our boundaries also, because in the interviews most of the time 50% is when I was there in the interviews, whenever I was there, one of them, because some of the people I know them how they interview, they always interview that just to check if anybody puts below 5 years or 2 to 3 years or 1 year to 5 years experience, there is a compulsion, there is a tendency that they claim that they know everything under SAP SD, because they are trained consultants, they are trained. That is okay, everybody, they have to start from the beginning, they later they become expert. But here in between there is a thin line, how they want to justify, how they want to protect themselves only, because interviewer is not going to protect you by slimming down your answer. You are the one who have to cut down and you have to enhance your answer. So there are few people, actually not 50%, I am confident I can say that for below 5 years consultants, I'm just taking a range here. I'm not, I don't want to point out 1 or 5 or 10 years or something, just around 5 years consultant. When they comes into this interview, they say that okay, if they are trained consultant, okay, let's assume They wanted to answer each and every question because they are trained, right? So they are trained in the sense they covered almost all the syllabus there. So just even they prepare. So there are certain areas which as an SD consultant, you will not get a chance to get into that. You will not get a chance to get into that for sure. Because if SD related something, master data, profit centers, all these, right? So you will not get a chance. But they know the topic. Theoretically, they know that. What they say, actually, just they say that, okay, I know that, and we worked in one of our project, and they just start like that, and they are very confidently say that. They confidently talk about that. Just let me show you one screen share. I think few of you are from SAP, right? If you try to log into, if you try to enter into any other module screen and you want to change or if you want to create, can you see my screen here?
Yes,
Yes,
Sridhar.
sir.
Yes, Sridhar.
Yeah, error in object handling. SAP system has status not modifiable. Choose display object or cancel. So this is how the message is going to get when you want to log into the another module where okay, if you want to create or if you want to do any changes there. FS00, for example, FS00 is there, general ledger account creation. So in our this system, actually the system which we are using, if I get into this, and for example, if I get into our IDES system and I try to create that, right? So definitely system is not going to show any restriction there. So just it will accept us to create it, right? But in the real time, that's the screen which I told you, showed you, right? So that's what we are going to get. People, they just ask and they just cross the budgets, cross the modules, and they say that they worked in that project and they worked in that and they started into that. But they themselves are indirectly saying that they are a trained consultant. So that's what the first mistake or the first object which you have to train yourself. So I know that you're all experienced, but this is the one with the experience, you know how to manage, but that management should be in the right direction. If you are into the FI or ASD or sorry, MM or any other logistics execution kind of other things, if you say that in this, can you see my screen here?
Yes, Sridhar.
Yes, Sridhar. Yeah.
So here, if I get into this FS00, this is actually the FI consultant job there. So it will not allow us to get into this, and GRC people will not given access to for us to get here. I can change the values, right? So here, can you see this one? Here I can change this, but there you will get only the display access. And even some people, they say that some systems actually they were clearly says that you are not authorized to get into this transaction there. So that's what I just want to let you know, because learning is very important, but knowing to put the stop or knowing to step one step backward, that is much more important than, because if you don't answer that question, only one answer, just they cannot judge you that you are a other consultant or not. Okay, you are not a good or you are good or not. But if you say something else, then that is going to give an impact, or you are giving yourself that you are a trained consultant or just other just words. They can come to a conclusion and round up the interview there, right? Okay, this is the one. And the business processes, we are going to talk in detail about all of these. Okay, and this customer master data, material master also we are going to. And why we are discussing about the company code and credit control area, other plant storage location means, in our project, take it as a project. Whatever we are going to talk about, that take it as a project. In our project, we don't have any MM or FICO or CO consultants are there. PP consultants, production planning consultants are not there. So that's why on behalf of them, we are going to create their objects also here. This comes to the storage location, MM, PP, and FI, and also the controlling area, CO part. All these we are going to create. Why the system is allowing means we are not using any real-time system here, right? Yeah, we are using some paid version IDES system. So demonstration system, right? So that's why the system will not show any restriction there until otherwise, if you don't have a developer access and if you want to create one table, then it will ask for the developer key access. If you have that one also, then system will not even that error, that message also you are not going to get, right? So that's what, this is the second point which I want to tell you. And the third one is along with the topics, so this pricing is there, right? So pricing part, we will be covering most of that, complete each and every condition technique. In the pricing, condition technique is there. So whatever the condition technique, right? So we are going to talk from the 1 to 5 and 5 to 1, each and every step. Whenever if the person asks you the second or third step, you should be able to see in your mind with a glimpse that, okay, first condition table or condition catalog or field catalog to the pricing procedure, how they are, you should be able to just play within your fingers. Just that's what the one, because how many scenarios, no, never ever count that, because it's an endless. That is okay, how many scenarios we are completed, and based on that, don't even judge that, okay, whether you are, because you learned 99 or 100, one not one question will be a brand new for you, that, but the only one, that 101 question, right? To solve that, actually, this condition technique basics are important. Basics are going to be the same for your $1 million project also. At the same time, one $10 billion project also, the basics are going to be important. Basics cannot be changed, because if you 6 years, right, you have almost 10 years of experience. Let's assume that around number 10 years of experience, you get into a project. Okay, if you get into a project, the next couple of months later, you are getting into a project. From the day one, if you are assigned to one project there, one fresher or from the college passed out with the campus placements with the on-job training, if they get into a project, out of 10 years, you might have not worked one scenario. From the day one, that fresher might be working with you, along with you. So in that way, in SAP, don't count the experiences, don't count the number of years of experience. You respect them, but how many kinds of scenario, what kind of projects you are into. If you are into a support project for the 10 years, for a few years into the implementation, in my opinion, I'm not degrading the support consultant. Please understand, don't take me wrong here anytime, in a positive note, but the way I am explaining, maybe sometimes it will here and there, but if you are into the support project, you will be getting 25 tickets. Okay, after the 25th, the 26th ticket, he is going to be the repeating most of the times. Maybe sometime later you will be getting 1 or 2 tickets as a change request. Whenever they change the business process, you will be getting that. If anybody of you from the support background, am I right or wrong actually? Because that's what I have been, I have seen that actually most of the time I'm into the implementation projects only. Support projects I worked in a few months only. I never worked for years together on the support. Most of the time, luckily, I got into the implementations only. And even now also, just last 2 implementations, I have been a part of that. So support, did anybody work on SAP support projects here?
No, Sridhar.
No, right. Yeah, yeah. But APO, you said you worked on support or what? I did not get that.
So it's a service. Basically, the users will raise tickets. So it is after the implementation. So when they are creating orders and everything inside the APO, the end users will assist the end users in.
Yeah, you will be working in the Zira about the from the tickets, right? So just once whatever we create the tickets from the core users, you are going to work and solve it out in the
Yeah, yeah.
test it in the QA and move to the production or that kind
No,
of.
no, we will not be testing in the test system. So we'll be just assisting the users in. So it's like in the real system itself, we'll be working. We have the display access in the APO.
Production
Yeah,
system.
in the production system. Yeah, yeah. And we will. So there will be a set of scenarios, and we will be working with the technical team also.
Yeah, but
So
you are never got into the PRO and change the configurations kind of or how it is.
no, no, no. We didn't. We do. We do not have access for changing.
So
Sure.
can you see my screen here?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me just get into this. Yeah, this one, have you ever logged into this one?
Yeah, in the APO, yes. We have logged into this.
No, no, that's what I was asking actually. In SPRO menu, when
Okay.
did you log into this and you started changing the configuration and just moving it to the quality and from their quality to production system?
No, no, no. We in APO we had access to basically the master data and the planning book, and also we used to check whether the master data is everything is set up and everything. So, but we do not work on the test system, and we do not make the changes and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Why? Because we, as a functional consultant, for us, the configuration is the main thing actually.
Yeah,
As long as you make your hands dirty by you configuring in the system, then you are in the top level.
yeah,
My opinion, I'm not saying just
yeah,
if you
yes,
are
yes,
in the support side, just you will be working outside the system as a just to support them. That's it.
yeah,
To
yeah, yeah.
support them, you are not getting into the system, just like a people management kind of.
Yeah,
People management is there, right? So you might have heard in the big fives nowadays. People last 5 years, it's been people management is there. The managers will be there. They don't get into the system, but they will be in touch with the persons who are into the system. They just in the Zira calls, all this, they just manage the client side people at the implementation side people. They make them into the same role linear way, so that they are the one who is the bridge between these client side and the configuration side implementation side people to move the project in a, smoother way, right?
yeah,
So those people are at the managerial level, but they also are coming from the configuration. For next career to this configuration, once you are vexed with technical or once you are vexed with the configuration 20 years later, they are going to become a delivery manager or project manager because they know in and out about the project, where the hurdles and all those, right? So you cannot the consultants cannot tell the some scockable stories to them, right? So they know that. So that's why those kind of positions will be given to the ex consultants or ex this technical or functional or techno functional consultants who they just want to retire after 20 25 years later, 20 years, having 20 years of experience. If you see, observe that, because I have seen the people who sits in the US, they talk to the business and they make the project easier. They just give the pass on the information to the offshore people or the other consultants in a way that in a systematical way. So the product owners or product managers or project managers or all these complete technical, complete functional are not there. So here, this is what, right? So here we are going to work. This is the main screen for us as an SD or MM or any module consultant. If you want to cherish yourself, you should be diving into this one. Here also, each and every node, this is what we call it. This is a node there. Even if you have, I told you that, right, 1 million or 10 billion project also, even Google or any other project also, Apple also, they are going to work on this. They have to create the financial accounting. FI consultant will be clicking on this company code and creating that. It does not mean that, okay, mid-size companies use a different, this is the same screen which you are going to use. How confident you are going to create a company code to Apple, or you are going to create a company code to, sorry, in our example, sales organization. Just I am giving an example there. Your hands should not shake, and you should be confident enough that, okay, you are going to just get into the say enterprise structure definition, sales organization. For you, this only matters. Define, copy, delete, check. Sales organization is the only matter. Whether you are working for 10 billion or $10 million project also, it's nothing. It is going to make any much difference. Only the scenarios may be changing there, because this 10 billion project might have got a vast number of scenarios and the business cases there. But the only the but here, the base information, that basics are going to be the same for everybody. Every company will have the, because when we work for Apple, those are the same. But in Apple, what happens actually, based on the product portfolio, you will be working on the variant configurations. In SD, the variant configuration is now itself is a different one there. So there will be, if you work for a couple of years under a right manager, you will become an expert along with the SD. Within that variant configuration, there is a very useful concept. Those time 2012, 13, that itself, there were I have seen the people, they are the masters in the complete SAP industry. Even complete comparatively SAP also, there were people sitting, I know few people, they were the masters into that. So they are the one who is encyclopedia for that variant configuration part. Here you cannot claim that, okay, whatever, even if you attend 10 times the different tutors or I don't want to use the word as a tutor, different people. If you attend this session, this kind of sessions, for some certain period of time, but you will be learning something, just you grab it up and put it in your mind, that's it. Once you attended the best industries, the best tutor also, you are going to get a little bit about it, you are going to grasp that. And after that couple of, then you will be coming to one shape where you can confidently deliver what you learned and compile in your own computation in your mind. Just with one, it is not going to happen there. And this third party process is there, a third party process and individual purchase orders and consignment. These are SAP SD, MM, and PP integration one. APO, I think you might be heard about these consignments. So these are the one which we are going to talk about the conceptual, but whatever is there here, the sales order, it comes that, right? What are the controls which are going to control this entire functionality of this, the process, consignment process, and this one individual purchase order. Consultant will be taking care of this complete end to end. We are going to talk at a high level, okay, what is this consignment and how many types of there and what are the movement types. So those more than enough, but we'll try to showcase and throw some light on the concepts which are important there, not just theoretical there, just whatever the important controls. Anytime the configuration side, knowing the controls are very important, because I have seen the people, they just create the company codes, all these enterprise structures are there, Jay. Once the tutor creates one, they ask you to create the 10 or 15, how many, as much as you can. It's just it's going to be just like copywriting kind of, just don't no need to create 10 15, create one or two. But whenever you are creating this company code, right, what are all the fields and what is the importance of this company code and how this is integrate having assignment to this credit control area, those if you can understand, and also the sales organization distribution channel division and how these are interconnected to these assigned to this company code. If you have the foundation strong till this time, actually this one, third point, as well as this pricing and the revenue account determination and one or two concepts here, all are just for the credit management output determination also. Okay, all these are all right. Just whenever in your, once you get an experience, just by knowing that, you will be able to easily manage those things. Just as you paid the fees, that does not mean that okay, just everything okay, contracts we created, and this is going to be just like academic kind of training there, where spoon feeding kind of, spoon feeding is not at all going to help, because you are an experienced person, right? So we are already from the college, it's been a very so many years, right? So just don't go back to the college or school days where you expect that okay, whatever is the recording is there, from the recording point to point or second to second or minute to minute, I will just pause it and try to work it on the system. Please don't get into that kind of learning in your job training. How you were, just be here also, I want to be in that way only, because I don't want to get in. But whatever the concepts are there, I'm going to repeat and repeat and repeat until you get into that. That's what from my side I can give you that flexibility there. If there are any controls are there, where do you maintain this particular control and what is the impact of this? If that is important, determinations are there. Determinations, how the item category will be determined into the sales document. There are four parameters, right? Those four parameters, if of those four parameters, out of which if any of them into our subject, then I'm going to talk about the four parameters into the Excel sheet and I'll try to show you. No, you might be thinking that, oh, already we discussed about this. No, but still at one point of time there will be a break even for everybody at learner, right? So for somebody it is going to be right, so it is going to be for 30 days, or somebody is going to be after listening for 5 or 10 times. One point of later, for them it is going to be just general regular, right? So that's how it is going to be, because never ever look about the content, the quantity there, how many contents and how many pages of we are. If you ask me this one, I'm not going to follow that actually, as and when just in the demo classes, and sometimes just we open this, actually we completed, I myself is against for okay, now we completed this customer data and we are going to start our chapter for with subject skill this one with a material master data. That kind of training actually I don't want to, because being not from a commercial background, my mindset maybe like that. But so this is how in brief, because I'm not going to in detail about that. But what is your expectations about this, if I know that, so that then we can come to a conclusion. And also one more important request is, you trust in me, you have a confidence in me, I can have I also will have a confidence on you people, because mutual trust is very important to achieve one our mutual goal, you to put into the organization as an SD consultant. If there are 10 to 20 persons are there, I don't know who is listening or who is not listening, and I don't want to ask by name itself. So those are all not going to, it's going to be a general political speech then, whether you listen it or not. But whatever I'm prepared, I'm going to just talk in front of the mic and just wind up the call. So our sessions should not be like that. That for that I need your cooperation at the same time. Just for that, actually, we should have a mutual understanding, mutual faith in among us. That's what I told my previous batch people also, right? So that's what I told, and that was very successful, and they got into a very good positions now. So a recent one also, just they started cracking the interviews in the mid of the interviews itself. They are all experienced person, 6 to 8 years experience. One person was more than 10 years, almost 11 12 years. They also start attending the interviews. So any questions on this part? Any questions also, just whatever your queries. Then if we are into the same linear same line, then we can continue. That's what, if you are expecting something just like the support project related and issues and scenarios. And also one more thing, we are going to talk about the very basic day-to-day scenarios only. Just Ratnadeep or DMart or any real time generally where you physically might have entered into that stores are there. How an SAP means here, SAP SD means the sales scenarios here. So how these sales scenarios are going to work it out. So that's how our examples are going to be. We can take that, okay, somewhere in the Walmart or other things, right? But can you see this slide?
No, Sridhar, restricted the Word file which you showed.
Overview of sales process. Are you
Yeah,
not?
now we can
Actually, I
see. Now
shared.
we can see.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
actually
can see.
these are the OTC processes there, right? So if you know field wise, and also in SAP there are some fields actually just they got from the previous versions to these versions. Each and every field is not important, because in CRM or in SD also, if you see, there are few nodes actually the before versions they used it, but as a package when you copy, when you come to the next versions, those are all coming here. Let me open the sales node here. Okay, sales and distribution. If you come here, POS interface and the data transfer archiving, all these are all just EDI. EDI is completely a different EDI, IDOCs, and how they edifacts, right? So this is not a part of our end search and operational reporting and the pendulum list, indirect sales, sales support, and period and vacation of deliveries. All these are not just from the ages, it has been transferring, lifted and shifted to the next versions, and it has been continuing again. Even when you come into the CRM also, there are so many concepts which are obsolete, because in the recent versions what they did, just if you click on this, they are not going to provide like this. Actually they just put this one like, even you cannot expand that. Why? Because those are redundant now, because those options has been already transferred to the some other modules and other. Here if you see foreign trade and customs, can you see here foreign trade customs? Foreign trade customs, you're not going to work here, number ranges, all these, right? So this is a global trade services. Itself is now SAP made it as a new module, GTS. SAP GTS itself is a new module there. And also the transportation, shipping, all these logistics, execution part, all these, right? So out of which they lifted and shifted one module called transportation management. TM itself is a very huge module. When you go to Dubai or Europe and US, North America, all these, so TM module is a one of them, which is a competitor who has got an advantage over SAP itself, Oracle TM. Oracle TM is much successful and much demand comparatively SAP TM, because SAP TM there are so many other factors. Pricing factor is there. Pricing comparatively Oracle, SAP is obviously high. So that's why there are few companies, they are going towards and showing interest to opt out Oracle TM comparatively this SAP TM. So those are the few factors. And also when it comes to the FICO also, there are so many factors are there. TR is there, another module, and there are few other modules also came into the market, reporting purpose, other things. So RAR is one of the module, reporting, accounting, and revenues, right? So those are the one, RAR and other IFRS is there. Product costing and controlling also, there are few other module, risk management module and other. So just getting into this, actually even we are going to talk, we are going to have our training on EHP 7, because we don't have that particular server where it is a dedicated one. So that's why we are continuing on the EHP 7, which is installed into our system itself. It's not an online server there, because online server earlier we used it. As soon as we create one sales organization here, the next day or the after today we create it, the next Monday once you come there, somebody just changing the values there by logging into that. And it is a centralized database where everybody can access, even if you have your own user ID also, the data will be applied, data will be visible to the each and everybody. So because one server will be distributed to the almost hundreds of people there you will not be having any control, you cannot blame anybody who is supervising that server. So that's why we are working on the EHP 7, which has been successful till now. So whatever the batches we have been running, so everybody was happy with that. If you have any expectations, only I want to learn on the EHP 7, then that is what actually I just want to set the right expectation once you get into the system. And we should not be in that way that that's what I told, mutually we should have trust on us. It's not all about checking you or checking me, or it's not, we should never ever get into that part. So once that is not even a good practice there, we should have that trust among us. So now it's up to you, just because it's been 1 hour. So whatever your doubts or any skills, if you want to learn, and whether we can include here or not, so we will discuss about it.
Yeah, so Sridhar, so my expectation from this is at least, so if I go to an interview, so at least if I am so if they ask me a question, at least I should have a basic idea where to go and what to do. So that is what is my expectation from this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to answer your question genuinely, one of our batch actually in the afternoon, that's what I told you before you asked.
Mm.
If they have almost 6 to 7 years of experience, that guy, I think, from that someone major company, one of the big fives, he started cracking before coming here. He himself told me that a very first interview, because he told me that actually the first few he was getting rejected in the initial stages, but after 15 or of the, not even of the actually, uh, he started, he himself saying that he was in the second round of interview and waiting for the other person, and somebody from the US, they took the interview and everything was fine, and getting into the second round. So that's what the feedback I got it. So, and even what I told you that, right? So whatever the important points in Excel, I am going to write it down and repeat again and again until that, right? So that we reach that break even. So
Okay.
because if that's why I don't encourage to have 10 15 session 10 15 people, so that because even till now from this institute I gave the training even for one person also, that the one person we have visibility, 10 persons I am going to get commercially, I am also monetary wise I'm going to be get much more benefit, right? So but I am not into that part, because this is just it's a side, right? So just where I share income, I share that knowledge. At the same time, I am going to get monetary. I'm very upfront on that. Not doing any service here or something. So just I wanted to just do the justice there.
Okay.
Everybody will get into the same system, same notes, everything will be the same, but whatever we are discussing, that right, that makes the difference. Even the definition or everything, if you go somewhere, it is going to be the same and same, because it's not a new thing where I can create my and my own. It's been there for the years. Actually, from 2009 itself I have been listening and attending and doing all this, right? For me, there are so many seniors are there. I used to work for 27 years senior person, and they, in one of their rollout projects, he visited almost 20 countries there. When I worked with them, he was just telling all his experiences. There's 20 countries he visited, one of the big five, and later he joined us actually. So that
Okay.
time, just we have a great respect on those kind of people, because that's why I am not going to teach something which they never defined in the somewhere, right? So obviously I know about my limits and my knowledge, right? So if something yesterday came, or last year or 2 years back, it has come into the market, so then I might do some research and I can give my footprint there, right? So okay, this is how it can be explained. But earlier, people, as it is new to everybody, so that's why they could not explain, or I could explain, and somebody, I could take the notes from the somebody else. But it is a open source. You can get it from everywhere, and we are going to take the reference from there, and we are talking. I don't need to get prepare one note, say, on behalf of the trademark on Sridhar kind of, right? So we are going to use the same notes. Yeah, you were saying something, somebody asking. Yes, someone was asking. Sorry, I interrupted. Yeah, did I answer your question, Siddharth, right?
Yes. Sure. Thanks.
So that depends on you also, just the person, whoever, because I cannot get you in that information into your mind, and where I can switch on the button, right? So whatever I can discuss, but you have to put a lot. My expectation is, if 1% also, if my training or our discussion is going to be helpful for you, then is that is what I call it as a okay. Then at least we are on the right track. I'm not
Yeah.
that greedy where okay 90% you I will be covering out. No, because if I am in the interview panel, based on the person, I'm going to ask you something which they never ever worked in their complete life. Also, I can ask you, because I'm at the this side, right? The interviewer side, I can ask them, right? So if once you become an interviewer, then you will be having that freedom there, because you are at the some upper side, right? So you can ask anytime any questions, whatever is in your current process, or you can ask that, right? So that's
Yeah.
how the in interview itself, you cannot predict anytime, but we are going to prepare the standard system, whatever is there. You will be able to, hopefully you will be able to answer for sure.
Sure. Thanks, Sridhar.
Yeah, Suresh,
Hello.
please tell. Yep, Suresh.
Sir, can I talk offline with 1 minute after this session?
Yeah, please. Yeah,
One number, sir.
yeah, you can ask her actually.
Okay, sure, sir.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Momin
sir.
and Sidhu. Sidhu, can I? Because you joined, you're traveling or somewhere, or because I could not.
No, I'm not traveling home
Okay,
actually.
Bharat, I think. Right. I. So is everything okay then, Suresh? What are your inputs, and how?
Okay, sir. Okay, sure.
Okay, if everything, if you don't have any doubts, then can we conclude? Or what is the timing you are looking? Because
My office time is morning 9 to evening 5, sir. Before 8 or evening after 6 is 5 also. After 5 also I'm okay. Evening 5 before morning before 8.
5 to
Yeah.
8 in between, right? You are asking. You meant to say that 5 to 8.
Evening Evening 5 to morning 8 is okay for me.
Oh, okay. Morning 8. Okay.
Yeah, so Sridhar, so our working hours are from 12 afternoon 12 to night 9. So I think morning session would be feasible for everyone in that case.
Morning session. Actually, for morning session is that's why I think today morning 8 o'clock they schedule the call, right?
Correct.
Okay, let me